Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back, and welcome if you're a new subscriber. Thank you so much. I hope that I keep producing interesting things for you. And in today's video, I'm going to do a flip through of another paper bag journal. Another one of my scrappy journals, a little kind of grungy, kind of scrappy. You know, we generate a lot of scraps, and at some point you gotta use them up. Well, you can't use them up, right? So this one is definitely one of those. And and thank you, Lisa. She just bought a couple of my journals on my Etsy shop, and I just so appreciate that. It's wonderful for them to find homes. I don't make these, I have a journal for myself that I made, but I love making them and can't use them all. So anyway, this one was a little bit different. I did something, I do something different every time. And that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it fun and makes it enjoyable for me is to try to keep doing different things. And I'm so inspired by the other presenters who make junk journals. So, it's wonderful. We just all pass on the joy. And that's a wonderful thing. So I decided to call this the Camouflage Journal, which is pretty apparent. This little piece of fabric, there was an artist who moved last year, and she gave me a whole bunch of wonderful stuff. And a lot of it was paper crafting. So, and there was some material in there. So I got this paper bag all done, except for giving it some kind of a cover, something a little stronger. So I went looking in the cloth, and this was in the stash, and I went, what? It fit perfectly. It was only this small piece, and there was just this little tiny piece left over, and one other little piece, which you'll see in a minute. And so everything I needed, I threw away the most tiniest little offcut. So anyway, yeah, this is a paper bag. This was the top of the bag. And I used some scrapbook, and I folded it and glued it in on the inside first, and then folded it down and glued it down. So here is the other little piece of material that was left over. So I just made a little notebook from some of the other scraps that she had left behind. And this is a continuing part of, and you can see another little piece of scrapbook there. So, and this is continuing my clean up the studio, kind of reuse, reduce, recycle, repurpose, my big project for January. And so now I've kind of set aside a lot of little groups of things that I can start putting together and making journals. It's like for this, for example, this was the packaging for some Tim Holtz ephemera. And I mean, beautiful piece of cardstock. The inside has the images that went with the package, but I kept this and I put it in one of my bins, and so there it is. And I've been starting to use stencils more as a little added theme. So this time I grabbed one of the honeycomb. Now this is from one of the Tim Holtz collections. That also has a bee with it. So I went, well, why not? And I just tea-dyed some paper. I had run completely out of tea-dyed and coffee-dyed paper. So it was time to fill up the floor. This is packaging. And some of the newer packaging is glued down the center, and then it's in sections after that. So I just took some of that packaging and cut it into usable strips. It's already glued, so it's like, yeah, you already get these 2 pages. They're already stuck together. Just glued on some thin scrapbook paper. Some music paper. This is a coffee filter that I dyed with tea. It was not a used one. And this is a paper bag. So we have just 2 paper bags in this. So this is a paper bag folded in half. One of those that has a simple bottom, not just a little fold up bottom like a coin pocket. And then I also had gotten a bunch of magazines from that artist, and I went through them looking for interesting patterns and designs. I thought those would make fun scraps. So made a couple of journaling cards like this. Come on. There we go. And another image from a magazine. Another one of those cuts from the packaging. The last piece of some scrapbook paper. Just some simple things. These little scrappy journals, they're kind of quick and easy. A little piece of sketch paper. And this was also from that lady's stash because I had stenciled and put in the bee, and I looked back in the stash and, well, look at that. So, hey, somebody's going to get those. And we just, a few little taggy things with the offcuts from the music paper. And this was the last piece from that Tim Holtz packaging. 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So it's a simple journal. It does have 14 papers folded in half for 56 pages altogether, front and back. So there's plenty of writing space. So you saw this coloring, this pattern before, the sand dunes, probably the Sahara. We see the camels down there. And another one of those. This was fun. This was, can you guess what this was? It was a chaise lounge. So this was the side, and this is the back, and but it looks really cool. The other side. And this is the last piece in this journal from that stash, and this was a piece of scrap paper that was already cut up, so I used it for the inside front and the back, and you can see that this is the bottom of the paper bag. So that's just a really stiff journaling card. And so this piece of material, I just wrapped it around the bottom. And then, of course, I didn't have a closure yet, but I had this little piece left. So I put in a couple of brads on this piece. So I just folded it over, put in a couple of brads. They went all the way through, and I had one little strip left. So I just covered up the tines of the brads with that one little strip, and it looks great. And I haven't done one like this before. I did the 2 buttons and the 2 strings, and it works really well. So there it is, the little camouflage journal. It's in my Etsy shop as of this video, and thank you so much for watching. Maybe you picked up an idea or two, or I had quite a lot of paper bags. They're starting to go down. I got a couple more. I've got the next video for you that's a full tutorial. But this one was pretty simple, and I just wanted to play. So I don't always want to turn the camera on. Thank you so much for watching, and go have your own play. Thank you for being here, and bye for now.